Guys, look what I've done. I've bought an iPhone 17 Pro. Yes. My trusty old iPhone 12 Pro, it just wasn't cutting it anymore. It's 5 years old by now. It still works, but the battery is pretty worn out. The camera, it really isn't good enough anymore for what I want to use my phone for. So when Apple announced the 17 Pro, with all of the cameras being 48 megapixels, with the new selfie camera, what can I say? I thought maybe that's the year when you should upgrade, and I did. And in this video, I want to talk to you a little bit about why I've upgraded specifically. I want to show you a little bit of the details and why it may be a good time for you to upgrade as well if you have a 12 Pro or older. And to do that, let's go to the overhead cam. Well, first of all, I want to make clear that basically every single technological thing from the iPhone 12 Pro is upgraded in the iPhone 17 Pro. That alone was a big reason for me to upgrade from the 12 Pro to the 17 Pro. But the single most important thing for me was the camera system. I mean, you can see that the camera system physically is larger on the iPhone 17 Pro compared to the iPhone 12 Pro. The sensors are larger, the optical elements in the lenses are larger, so the overall quality of the cameras improved. All of the cameras on the 12 Pro are 12 megapixels, and all of the cameras on the 17 Pro are 48 megapixels. I know that megapixels don't change the world, but in case of those phones, it really is a big upgrade, I have to say. So for me, the most important part to upgrade were the cameras, but not simply because of the physically bigger cameras, but also because now I can use a few more features with the 17 Pro compared to the 12 Pro. On the 17 Pro, for example, I have action mode, which I used extensively at this weekend. I don't have that on the 12 Pro, for example. Also that you can film on the front camera and on the back camera at the same time. Pretty cool feature. I've used this on the weekend. I can show you a clip right here. So yeah, it's a gimmick, but it's cool to have. It's nice to have, especially for stuff that I just showed you. And yeah, there are other things like Apple Lock and stuff like that. So again, camera system overall, big upgrade. Also a big thing for me was the battery life. The battery life of the 12 Pro was slowly dying. It was okay. I got through most days roughly, but now with the 17 Pro, for example, this weekend on Sunday, I used the phone pretty extensively. I've left my home with 95%. I've made a few social media posts throughout the day. I've had GPS tracking on for around 5 hours straight. And when I stopped tracking at the middle of the day, I was at 45% still, which I think is pretty good because the 12 Pro, it would have been dead by then, after 5 hours of GPS tracking, recording with the camera, recording photos and videos, uploading it to social media, stuff like that, it would have been dead. And this one still had a lot of juice in it, enough to go home and reach a charger safely, so to speak. Okay, so far I've upgraded because of the camera system and the battery life. But another big thing for me is the display. What have you just seen is that the iPhone 17 Pro is faster with Face ID than the 12 Pro. Especially after the last update, the 12 Pro takes way longer to open with Face ID than the 17 Pro. But that's not the point here. Of course, the iPhone 12 Pro is a slower phone. I mean, it's 5 years old by now, especially compared to the newest and latest, hottest chip of Apple in the 17 Pro. But that's not a big point why I've upgraded. I think the iPhone 12 Pro is plenty fast. I've also decided to upgrade because of the screen. The screen of the 12 Pro is 60 Hertz. It's a 60 Hertz panel fixed at 60 Hertz. It's also not that bright, especially if you're out in the sun. The screen of the iPhone 17 Pro, on the other hand, is plenty bright. It can get up to 3000 nits on the outside. It has 120 Hertz. It has a Pro Motion display. That means that it can dynamically change the refresh rate of the display, which is pretty neat. And also you can see that the display is physically larger. The iPhone 17 Pro is a little bit larger than the 12 Pro. The display is going just to the corner, and on the 12 Pro the display is, the bezels are basically a little bit thicker than on the iPhone 17 Pro. And the big thing, of course, on the iPhone 12 Pro you still have a notch, and on the iPhone 17 Pro you have a dynamic island, which I now finally can use as well. I was always a little bit jealous of my girlfriend because she has the 15 and she also has a dynamic island, and I think the features that Apple built in this dynamic island are pretty cool, and I could never use them because I still have the notch. So I'm happy that I now have a dynamic island as well. And last but not least, one of the big points why I've upgraded is the connection. The 17 Pro has USB-C and the 12 Pro has Lightning. And having USB-C is just way more comfortable than having a Lightning connector, just simply because everything is USB-C nowadays and you can easily charge the iPhone 17 Pro with every cable you have, basically. And that's not the case with the 12 Pro. Also, I have to say that handling the phones, the iPhone 12 Pro feels way sharper in your hand. The 17, because of this corner right here, the 17 is way smoother to hold, and it doesn't hurt to have it in your hand and hold it very tightly in your hand, you know. With the 12 Pro, if you hold it very tightly in your hand, you have the corner right here, which is the corner right here is really, really sharp. I mean, you don't cut yourself, that's not what's happening. But if you hold it very tight, it can hurt. You can get, you know, marks in your hand after a while. The 17 Pro, it just feels smoother in your hand. I don't know how else to explain it to you guys. Also, as you can see, I have a matte screen protector on both of the phones. This is just simply because I like matte screens more than shiny screens. I use this screen protectors right here. They are not of the best quality. It's the matte series, especially the matte series on both of those phones. It tends to break quite easily, but I don't really care because of those screen protectors. I like how they look on the phone. I like the matte finish they have, and I think they are just 12 euros for 2 pieces. So yeah, I don't really mind that they break. I don't know, every few months I just buy a new one and have my screen protected from scratches, and of course also they are matte. As you maybe know, I've used my iPhone 12 Pro caseless for the past 2 or 3 years. I'm not so sure if I will use this one caseless. I have the feeling that I will use this one caseless, maybe in a few years as well. But so far I have bought myself a case from Moft. This right here is the Moft Snap case. I think it's pretty cool. It has a somewhat similar color to the iPhone. I like the finish of this case. It has metal buttons, clicky metal buttons. That's pretty cool. Also here the camera control button inlet, pretty nice. Also has from the inside this very soft material, so the iPhone doesn't get scratched up from the back, and it's a little bit more tight in this case. And for this particular case, I've also bought myself the Snap phone stand and wallet from Moft. I just wanted to test it out, and I will probably let you know in a future video how I like it. It's a pretty cool thing because you can, at least if you have a lot of force, open it up, and then it can stand like this or like this on the side. I can show it to you if you want. And then you can put your phone on a stand like this, basically. You can also put it sideways if you want, and you can also, you know, just do it like this. Horizontal floating mode. Everything is possible with this thing, and you have even space for 2 cards right here. And yeah, you just snap it back and everything is fine. This will probably be the way how I will use this phone in a few years from now. I will probably use this phone with this case, put it in here. It's a very tight case as well, and use the phone like this. So far, I like this case a lot. Already has a few smudges because, of course, it's a white case, but I don't care actually about a few smudges. And then I can put on this wallet on the back here, and this I will use my iPhone 17 Pro in the future. I'm a little bit sad to let go of my 12 Pro, but I'm also very excited to use my 17 Pro in the future, create content with it, and have a very snappy and good working new phone. I plan to keep this phone for at least also 5 years, same as with the 12 Pro. But yeah, we will see how this works out. You never know what the future brings. Let me know in the comments if you upgraded this year to this one or to another phone from something like this or older. And if you're not upgraded, but you still have an 11 or a 12 or something like that, why you don't upgrade this year? I would be interested in that, because I think it's quite cool to hold to your electronic devices as long as possible. That's why it wasn't an easy decision to me to buy the new 17 Pro, because the 12 still works, it still works. It's just not the best anymore. But for me, like I've already said in this video, the big point were the cameras of the new phone, and a little bit the battery life, and also a little bit the ProMotion display, I have to say. Okay, but enough of that. I think you've got the point. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and most importantly, stay safe.